Alright, I found a minor bug in Simplify 3D. Probably just an oversight, but should be pretty easy to fix. Anyway, I am printing 3 nose cones. Now, the way I print these nose cones, I print them hollow with 3 perimeters, and I use the variable settings wizard to put infill here and to put infill here. The infill serves 2 purposes. One, it gives me a place to attach the shock cord of the model here. It also provides structural integrity to the shape of the nose cone by giving this structural integrity and this structural integrity combined with the elliptical curve and the 3 perimeters. It makes it more resistant to warping under heat stress. So this can go to a higher temperature before it'll begin to warp because it will physically hold itself in place with its own structural integrity. And that's the purpose of the support. So I got 25% grade from here to here and 25% grade from here to here. This support has a secondary function of making sure that the top of the nose cone closes correctly, because if you don't have sufficient infill, you could have gaps form in the top of the nose cone where the filament doesn't attach properly. That solves that problem. So just a tiny bit at the top and enough here to provide structural integrity and give me a place to attach the shock cord. So I'm using the ANET E10, so I need to do the nose cones one at a time. Print this one, then print this one, then print this one. So this is my first set of processes. So 0 infill, 25%, 0 infill, 25%. That's the only change I make between them. I grouped it into a group. I then copied, pasted, pasted. Now, interestingly, you can't copy a group. You have to grab the 4 processes and copy them. I tried to just copy the group, did not work. But I pasted the set of 4 processes and a set of 4 processes, and then I made this into a group, and I made this into a group. So this group is for this nose cone, this group is for this nose cone. Now, the bug is this. I had to come in here to this process, select model, and I had to change it to the 3rd nose cone. But even though it's grouped, it did not propagate that change to the other processes. This one is still set for nose cone 1. So I have to come into each of the processes even though they're a group. So the feature in Simplify 3D where if you group things together and then change a feature that's not already predefined for each individual process, it will make that change for all of them. So for example, if I group them together and I change the infill, or if I change the perimeters, it'll change it for all the processes. That doesn't work for the model selection. So I still have to come in here and actually change which model is being printed for each of these processes. It would be nice if that could be corrected so that I can actually group, copy a group and then assign that entire group to a new model for exactly this purpose. So I can just design my changes one time and not have to come inside here and go to select models for each and every one of these processes. This is not a big deal, but it would be nice if that worked, if I could assign models and groups easier like that. Another thing I would like to see happen that does not work here. I have this print set up. It is perfect. It's got everything the way it's supposed to be. It's going to do my processes for that nose cone, then that nose cone, then that nose cone. What if I want to do it on a different printer? If I try to change the printer that it uses, it drops all of my settings. So if I come in here and I change this profile to be a different printer, all of this gets dropped. It loses my layer profiling settings. So I have to reassign all of my start-stop heights again. Basically, I have to redo the variable wizard for each printer. It would be nice if I could take a factory file and change which printer it's going to be printed on and have it retain all of these customized settings so that I can just make the individual tweaks necessary. So for example, if I want to do this on a CR10, I could program it for the CR10, duplicate 2 more nose cones, copy the process over the 2 more nose cones and make it 5. But as it stands right now, to do this on a CR10, I'd have to start from scratch because these settings would all get messed up when I change the actual printer that was being used to print with it, when I change the profile. It'd be nice if that could be added too. That's not a bug, that's just the way it works. It'd be nice if that could be fixed. But this, I would imagine that's a bug. When you group and you make a change, so if I come in here and tell it to use nozzle diameter 0.5, then it will change that for all the processes. But when I change the model, it does not change it for all the processes. I have to go to each individual process and change that.